All right, guys. Talk about that funky piece.
That was Wolfpack's Walk to Remember, and there's so many parts to that song.
I was trying to walk and remember everything I'm supposed to be playing, but I kept tripping.
Yeah, super hard piece. It's a lot of cool.
Corey, break down some of the techniques that you were...
Starting with the intro, so we're going to do like what would be a D7. And then to a C7. That's the two chords in the intro and the melodies that go with it. And to make it fancy sounding or funky, this is where it gets really tricky because there's so much things going on. It's going to take a little while to break down. So with those two chords in mind, the way we get around everything and add like a cool... Essentially what you're going to do is with your thumb, starting with the leading note, the D, you're going to treat that as if, like if you're playing on a drum set, that's going to be your bass drum. And then the rest of your fingers, what I'm doing is, I'm doing sort of like a rest, but that rest is causing that, or making that percussive sound, and that is very crucial in the whole thing. While I'm doing that, I'm adding these ghost notes, which I'm not even fretting anything. In between the chords, I'm lifting up my fingers and I'm just muting the strings. And what I'm doing is... It's kind of like emulating like on a drum set. That's like... kind of like
even slower.
So goes. And then following that is just two, I like to alternate. Sometimes it's a pointer, thumb, sometimes it's thumb, pointer, but it's all what you want to do. It's all preference from there. And then you're going to hit the chord, which is a D. I'm plucking all three here, which is I'm barring the 7th fret with my ring finger. And then right after that is... So that's pointer, thumb, pointer, and then chuck. So pointer, thumb, pointer. 1, 2, 3, chuck. So 1, 2, 3, chuck. And that's a rest right there. In between, while you're transitioning to the other chord, there's actually like a second triplet, I'll call it, with the pointer, thumb, pointer going on.
You guys can do that same rhythm on ukulele too.
Works better with if you have low G, the low G string. So what you're gonna do is, what fret is that? Oh, you don't have a low G string yet.
Well, I mean, but in principle, like that.
What fret is that? That's if you're playing the D7 all the way high up. If you're barring.
So this is kind of like that G7 shape that you have here, but you're just sliding it all the way down to the 9th fret. or I guess you could
Yeah,
say
ninth
the
fret,
8th fret. And then you're gonna take your pointer finger and then put it on the G string 7th fret, and you get this shape. So this is your D7, and if you just slide it down a whole step, so half step, and then another half step,
You got a
slide it down to
C7,
the
yeah.
5th fret.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 5 and 7. So this would be the D7 shape, and then here's the C7.
Yeah.
So you can go.
Yeah, it's like if you were to strum it. Yeah. One way to get into the groove of it, I was watching a John Mayer video. He likes to put these tips out on IG and I think it's TikTok too. Like he was explaining how to play Neon. He's like, see a ton of people do this, try to cover that song, and they're not getting the fundamentals. It's like a train.
Yeah.
Train going. It's like if you don't have that down, you're not gonna play it in with the right feel. It's kind of like practicing this. The rhythm's a little bit different, but what I would do, not even playing any chords.
And it's hard to add.
Ready for a rapper to come up.
And this would be the ukulele strumming. The down.
What? There's a name to that beat, right? That's like just a generic funk.
Oh,
feel,
I
right?
don't know. I'm sure a percussionist would.
It's called hopscotch.
You guys can tell us in the comments.
But if you want to just kind of get the right hand going, you don't even have to play anything. Just mute the strings, and then start off with the two thumps. We'll call it the two thumps. So
Bass drum.
actually,
hits.
not those aren't hits. Sorry, it's two plucks though. So 1, 2, chuck, thumb, thumb, chuck, pluck, and then 1, 2, 3. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's funny because like when you and I do these types of techniques, we didn't have anybody to teach us or break it down for us. It was more of like you had to feel the rhythm.
You just gotta feel
And
it.
then what I did was just get used to kind of like just strumming a certain type of rhythm pattern, and then I would add the picking and the
There's a lot of
later, just so that I can feel it first.
what people don't know is a lot of imagining going on. You're imagining the drum set in the background too.
Yeah, well, you end up doing like the
you are the drum.
job of like the drums and the bass sometimes too. You know?
Kalei,
Try to
what's
my
some
best.
of the stuff you were doing during that song?
For me, I was just mainly trying not to clash with him. So if like someone is doing like a kind of like a complex rhythm type of pattern, the best thing you can do to complement that is not try to replicate everything, that person or that instrument is doing. So one of the things I found was that sometimes I would just do like a down strum.
Yeah, it was cool in that song because when they play it, it's just drums, bass, and then the Rhodes keyboard, right?
Yeah.
And all the guy is doing on the Rhodes, he's adding all those fills, but all he's doing is.
Yeah. And then like when he came into that other section, like the main section of the song after the intro, how it went basically all I was doing was going.
Yeah.
So if you just do something simple as like G and then do like a single finger kind of like arpeggio and then landing on the downbeat, you can choose any note you want.
You're outlining the chords and giving a melody.
Yeah,
instead
and then
of
you
just
add
strumming chords.
Yeah, and then you're kind of like playing in between with what the rhythm section is playing. So in what's going on is that it won't clash with whatever's other instrument is playing along with the rhythm section. So if like we were to do like an example, so 1, 2, 3, and.
Just plucking the chords, but it sounds like a nice melody.
Yeah, you can make like a simple fill sound more like a melody line by.
I mean, it is a melody line, really.
Kind of. I mean, like what I was doing was that because I'm not super familiar with how this song goes, we just pretty much learned it right before we started recording. Well, I had to learn it right before we started recording.
Yeah, I only figured it out like an hour before you came.
Oh, okay. But
And I'm like, come on, guys.
I'm trying to
Try
play
work
it safe
on something
but
before you
smart
get here.
at the same time. Like play it safe, but still takes some risks. You know.
Well,
like,
that was a big risk.
you just gotta, cross your fingers, hold your breath, and hopefully you make it to the end and not crash.
You always do that.
That's normally what I'm always hoping for.
Yeah.
All right, we got a bunch of stuff to get into. Next, I'm gonna have you guys try a couple beautiful Hawaiian-made customs.
Yeah.
Hey, on our last podcast, Carl made this comment: "Toasty jam, guys. Hey Andrew, I'd be very interested if Kalei and Corey could share with us the things they found most helpful in improving their techniques from beginning to the magical level they now play at."
Oh, there's so much involved.
I can say one thing. One of the best advice someone ever told me about how to improve your technique is to be able to practice everything separated from what your right hand is doing and what your left hand is doing. If you're trying to learn something new, it's easier to be able to practice the techniques separately first, because like there's always some kind of pull off, hammer on, bend going on with your left hand. Sometimes it mutes the strings, so when you try to combine both hands together, working simultaneously, sometimes when something doesn't come out correctly and it sounds kind of funny, it's hard to distinguish what you're doing incorrectly without knowing what each hand is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So like if I were to be practicing, kind of like what we're doing today, what we're about to play with this song, because the rhythm is going. So if I wanted to just practice the rhythm, I would set up like a metronome. 1, 2, 3, and I would mute all the strings and bump, 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 and I'm just focusing on my right hand. 2 and bump, 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 2, 3, 4, and then I would add the chords. 2, 3, and 2, 3, and bump, bump, bump. But then there's something else going on rhythmically that's different. I'm actually muting the strings with my left hand too. So that's another thing that's going on. So 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, 3, and
Yeah, for me, I would already be practicing that. Like for me, what I think is, I would say 90, I don't know, what do you think? 95% of it is coordination.
a lot of it, yeah. I mean, like for us, like we've been practicing these types of styles and techniques for a while. So
what is more important? It's always this, right? Right hand's always more important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because without this, you can't execute this.
Yeah,
So,
well, without this hand, there's no music.
I see a lot of people, and I appreciate like a lot of people, trying to achieve and trying to get down really intricate pieces and especially funky stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't have the foundation of like the rhythm, it's funk is very rhythm based. If it's not anything else, it's rhythm.
Well, and a lot of this stuff is like wasn't done on the ukulele until just kind of like recently over the last couple of decades. So it's like these techniques are coming from like a lot of guitar players. You hear them like on the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, like for us, like for me, it's like I would listen to a lot of John Mayer and then figure out my own way to replicate what he's doing, and then I would pick up techniques and ideas from that. But as far as like breaking things down and improving on them, It's just taking things one step at a time and doing it slow. That's one of the best things. If someone
Yeah,
ever told me.
the left and right hand.
Yeah,
Same
and
thing
practicing it very slow.
Playing bass, right? Because from a bass player's point of view, if you don't have that, all the in betweens, then it's just kind of just cool. It's just it sounds okay, but it's not.
People
Quite
don't care
there.
what an amateur bass player has to say about this. Okay.
But
Corey, like you were saying something earlier about coordination. What do you mean by that exactly?
it's all if you don't have the coordination, it's not gonna sound right. And for me,
Well, how do you develop coordination?
well, like how you were talking about getting the rhythm down,
Yeah.
I'll just do that forever.
Yeah.
Like I have the song going on in my head, like and when I feel comfortable, like to where that's second nature,
Mhm.
it's like now I can tackle the piece. Now I can.
Yeah. So basically, you want to get used to doing one part of it without thinking.
Yeah.
Let it come naturally because you've done it over and over and over
That's
again.
why
And then you add
technique
the next
is
part.
technique is very, very important.
You
If
know
don't
what's
have the
interesting
technique,
though,
then-
like for people that are maybe like young and coming up, or maybe even not, is like, you guys remember back in the day when you were like learning music? It's like there was a lot of periods of boredom. I mean, there wasn't something in your pocket that could, that had endless humor and music and everything. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Only up until after senior year, I had a cell phone. I never had a phone until after I graduated. My first year in college, I had a phone.
I didn't get my phone
Well,
until I
this
was
is cool.
17.
so it's like in the age of YouTube and social media and all that, it's
This
almost
was the
like
fidget thing. It
you
was
have
the
to like
ukulele.
block off a time to
Yeah.
like devote to music,
You need to separate yourself from
To
all the
turn it-
distractions.
turn things off, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with exercising. The way you put time into exercising, you do your whatever it is, 1 hour a day or 3 hours a day if you have the time.
You got to just put time on the side. A lot of people nowadays are so used to things being so quick to get. It's so easy and so convenient. But when it comes down
Sadly,
to a
music
skill,
isn't. Yeah,
there's no shortcut.
There's
You
no
got to
shortcuts in
practice 10,000 hours. You got to practice years, days, months, whatever it takes. And for me, I'm pretty sure for you it's the same. Music was never a chore for me.
Yeah, it was always fun.
It was always fun, and because like there wasn't in all this information just like right there out in the open, it was fun to go out on an adventure and go searching for how, why, and like who does this, like, and how can I apply it to myself.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that too is like mentally, like people beat themselves up too much.
Yeah.
That's why it becomes a chore.
People are afraid
'Cause
to
they're-
make mistakes.
Yeah, just like
If you're not enjoying it,
you don't
then...
take yourself so seriously, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, also like the biggest difference between how children think and how an adult thinks is that children aren't afraid to try something new. They aren't afraid to learn something they don't know.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to admit that they don't know. When we become adults, that's one of the things that blocks us from learning things.
Yeah.
And even when it comes to music, because you're trying to strive for perfection too
you don't want
far
to
in
look
the beginning.
stupid, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like you have to be okay with looking stupid.
It's okay to
totally.
make mistakes because guess what? If you make a mistake, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing bad is gonna happen, like, and that's one of the things that
Not technically, but people have this idea that their ego, I guess it's their ego getting damaged or whatever. but
I guess so. But then you learn from it. Like you come back and it's like, okay, well, I know that doesn't work. Maybe like if I'm supposed to be playing the C, but I end up playing,
Right.
half a step too far up. Well, then I know it's like I'm gonna make sure next time that that doesn't happen.
the
you
most talented musicians I know, like there's not a lot of ego in them in the sense that like they're up on stage and they're doing a solo, like they hit a bad note, it doesn't make them cringe.
No.
They just like kind of laugh. They're just
We
like, oh my
crack up.
god, I friggin' blew it.
It's like a joke that was told that only the band knows.
It's like, oh.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I always do like a... Oh. Oh, that felt really good. That felt good. That woke me up.
Shredded my skin.
My favorite part of that whole song is just playing the rhythm because it's just fun to do. It's like, dude.
I can go all night.
All right.
Yeah, but we got other ukes to...
Andrew's like, please don't.
Yeah. I mean, I could listen all night, but then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but... Okay, so we've already done sound samples on this Wiemer. It's a killer uke.
It's actually one of my favorites from Jeff.
Yeah,
How's
exactly.
it pick up too? I didn't realize when we were recording.
Great customer that has many awesome ukes that decided to move this one along, and really he's just the kind of guy that likes to experience new ukes and then move them along. And I mean, it's definitely one of the most beautiful cuts of Milo.
Oh yeah, it's curly.
You know, Milo is super rare, but Milo like this is
like ultra rare,
super duper. And I've got this on the website right now. It's got a My Side pickup in it. It's only $2,800.
What?
It'd be like well over $4,000.
At least 4,500.
No ways.
Yeah, when
I'm trying to give a good deal.
This
I mean, it doesn't even have any dings or anything. It's like,
custom
I mean, it's
ever
decked out. Look at that.
Anyways, okay.
Look at that rope purfling and rope
So this
rolls in.
EEV right here,
Oh.
we haven't, because we've got sound samples on the Wiemer. So let's give some love to this guy, because it's one of the really, I mean, this thing sounds really good.
Yep. Torrefied spruce top. Beautiful koa back and sides. Amazing sound. You got abalone on the purfling for each of the sound holes. Ebony bridge fretboard faceplate. Roman numeral fret dots. I like that. Very cool touch. Goto tuners. You got the EV bird on top in shell. Mother of pearl. And abalone. And other stuff in there. But yeah. Let's check it out.
Sounds perfect.
Perfect amount of bass. Perfect amount of warmth. There's a good amount of brightness that comes through.
Mm-hmm.
The action is always. This thing's perfect.
There's a type of sound that only comes from the EEV
This
ukuleles
is
too.
it's an old Hawaiian tenor sound. Something like about Charlie's ukulele.
It's like it sounds like it's been played for like decades. It's open, you know.
And
good
that's the idea
sustain,
behind
everything.
Torrefied Spruce, right? You wanna get that kind of aged sound.
It does it,
beat.
yeah.
Barrel aged.
It's the kind of sound you can expect from Spruce after like 10 years or something, right?
Oh, more like 20.
Or maybe 20.
Let's get Kalei to get a sound sample on it.
Thank you. Sorry.
Just in case you guys don't know, this podcast is brought to you by the ukulelesite.com. Go buy a shirt or a hat.
Or a hat, yeah.
We got brand new hats now available for purchase. So
Like
visit the website,
this
stop
one.
by the store.
And starting next week, we're going to have aNueNue hats on the website too.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, like the one you're wearing.
Just like this.
All right, guys, don't make me a liar.
Don't worry.
Oh, cool. Right on. Beautiful playing, Kalei. And-
Beautiful
Yeah,
ukulele.
I know. Sounds so good. All right, so we have a number of different ukes that have the new Rebel fluorocarbon strings. So we're going to jump right into that right now and give these some comparisons.
Oh, can I just announce this real quick? Or do you want to save this for later?
Oh, cool.
He wants to put it on consignment for yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it's in really good condition. Okay. So almost a vintage ukulele. Almost. This is a Sceptre, KoAloha Sceptre, made by Pops himself. And this one has all of their autographs on the label. This is a very rare piece. So all Koa, top, back, and sides. Got all these the appointments here. It's in very good condition. Small nicks here and there, but nothing too major. There's no major damage on this, and it's holding up very nice. If inside of the ukulele it says 08, if that's the year, then yeah, it's from 2008. And he said the person that wants us to put this on for, sell it for consignment, he said it was made around that time. And pretty sure that's the year. I'm going to say this is from 2008. So, 2008 Sceptre, LR bags, 5.0 installed. I restrung it with UT1 Pepper Romero strings. These already came with the super nice gunmetal Grovers.
Oh, nice.
That you can find on like the 25th anniversary series.
Are those Grovers or Goto?
Grover.
Wow.
But Goto has the same style.
Yeah.
And this is what it sounds like. A super open sound. So here is the 2008 Sceptre from Pops. Yeah, so available soon on the website. We don't know pricing yet. It's gonna be around like $1,500. So, do we have to? You want to plug it in, or it sounds good plugged into? So
Does it? What's it got?
the
A bag?
LR Bags 5.0.
Yeah, we got the amp over there. We could do what some ukulele stores would do, and just because of its rarity, mark it up a lot.
Yeah, but we won't.
Yeah.
All right, prices start at $2,500.
I mean, I always thought these were kind of underpriced because, like, just look at it, man. That thing took a lot more time than your regular ukulele. All right, so
Sorry.
I thought we made a segue into this, like, string comparison, but
Yeah, sorry.
let's do it.
Got sidetracked again. You have the shiny.
Yeah, so this is the Rebel Shining set on a aNueNue AMM3 African Mahogany Tenor. And here how it sounds. Like the shining feels like a slightly lighter tension of Joel's hard tension sets. It's a high tension string, but
And how would you categorize the aNueNue stock set? Lighter?
it's slightly lighter. I noticed that the C string on the stock Clearwater sets are generally like much lighter in tension, so I'm guessing it's a thinner gauge C string. Because most times that's like the string that has the most amount of tension, on the ukulele, even though it's typically the lowest string on a high G ukulele. But that's one of the biggest difference I've seen. Tone wise, I think the Shining has a little bit more mids. It's slightly warmer, and which is kind of like what I would gravitate more towards. But then again, with the stock aNueNue strings, you're guaranteed to get a really nice like clear tone from it, just because of like the gauges and the lighter tension sets on here.
Feel-wise?
It's easier to play.
I
think if like you're,
I mean, that's one of the things the sound samples doesn't really convey, but
yeah, I mean, honestly, like if you're just getting into ukulele or you have trouble holding certain chords or barring, along the fretboard, a lighter tension set would probably be more, would be more efficient for you, or would match
or
and take care of a lot of
it
the
might even
solutions.
be more to your liking sound wise. It's a little bit brighter, a little more scooped in the mids.
Yeah.
It's a sound, it's got that,
Yeah.
in a way, it's kind of like that ukulele sound a lot of people are looking for.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's needs are different
Right.
too.
But I also like what the Shining's offering too. It's a little more punch
Mhm.
in the mids, and a little more fatness or warmth maybe. Well, I don't know about because there's nice lows with the aNueNue strings.
Yeah.
It's just a little more scooped. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, it would kind of
But-
be like a U scoop, EQ, if you're to give it like a visual perspective. So here's the stocked aNueNue Clearwater tenor strings that these come strung up with, or you can purchase them separately if you want. And here's how they sound. Alright, so here's the Rebel Shining set.
You know what I would say is like the aNueNue is kind of like a modern, whereas like there's something almost vintage sounding about this set, but I'd say like with the aNueNue, like you get a shimmer you don't get with these, and with this you get a little bit of a warmth in the middle. But yeah, I mean, I gotta say the AMM3 is one of the best values on the market. It's such a great instrument for I mean, you're talking about, these are the guys that build the Moonbirds.
Yeah, same
You
factory,
get the same quality.
same team, same quality, but more like almost the third of the price of a Moonbird.
Half or something like
About
that.
half, yeah.
Almost half, yeah. About now. And then
700
with
bucks.
yeah.
All solid wood, radius, fretboard, wood bindings, slotted headstock, gloss finish, includes like a really nice
Super
padded
nice
gig bag.
freaking mahogany too. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the this is the Excella High G.
Yep. Excella High G on the AMM3.
Yeah, more clarity, more.
Well, let's get like a quick back and forth between the two, just so
Okay.
we can.
So here's the Excella. And then here's the Shining.
What do you hear?
There's more oomph. It's this I would say like the Shining would probably be my choice between the two. And it's not because like I think that string set is always going to be a better choice. It just matches the sound of this instrument a little bit more to my liking.
I like the Shining on most of the options.
I was
But
playing it earlier. I was like, yeah, this is
what
nice.
do you hear,
Good
Corey?
chunk in the
Do you
mid-range.
hear like a brighterness from the Excella?
That's what I hear. There's like better
Yeah.
clarity, like when, especially when you're strumming the open.
So it depends. Like if
C
if
and
you're
the-
looking for that in your instrument, then maybe that's the best choice.
Yeah, if you want a little bit more warmth and a little bit more volume too, because it is a slightly higher tension than the other set. This would probably be the set for you.
But I feel like the AMM3 doesn't like it's got no need, it's got no desire for extra clarity, whereas some instruments might.
Yeah,
It's
Right,
one of those
yeah.
things where you know,
It depends on.
it's
the
funny.
instrument,
It's
yeah.
like you're asking people's opinions on strings and they're telling you what's worked for like their instrument. That's like a totally different instrument than
Yeah.
yours. It's
Yeah.
like,
What I like to do is just experiment with just 100 different string sets.
Oh yeah, I remember sometimes like when I walk into the store, I pick up like an instrument from the wall. I'm looking at it, it's like
This would
I don't
sound
remember
good
this
with.
string set being on here.
Oh yeah.
I
Sorry, it's
think
me.
it was
That's
you.
me. It's me all the time.
And then sometimes like I'll pick it up and be like, this needs to a different set of strings.
Yeah.
And then I'll end up doing that.
it's
too.
like because you picked it up, right? And then you were like, you know what this needs, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
that individual instrument kind of like needs a little bit more of something that a certain string set
Well,
can.
sometimes too, we'll have like our favorites on the wall, and then we'll change out the
Yeah.
strings to make it sound like
Then
even crazier,
a
better.
third person comes into the store, Joel, and he's like, "Why are there so many string sets half open?"
Yeah.
It's like a big bin of
Like,
just.
why is it
half-
missing only one
Yeah.
string? It's like if you guys are gonna take the A, like you might as well change the E, C, and G
What kind
too.
of
you know?
business are you running over here?
I learned it from Maratani.
Yeah, right. All right, let's keep going with this. So, we have the two with low G now, also on the AMM3.
So this is the Shining Low G set from Rebel. So then here is the Excella Low G. Try this one again. Shining Low G.
need a whole sound sample. Let's just get a quick.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so this is the Excella.
The Excella.
Okay, so what do you hear, Corey?
This is more mellow.
That the shining seems to like have more body from here. I don't know, maybe.
There is. That's this is just a little bit more of a lively.
Okay, Kalei, come back to your seat here. Yeah, I want to have a discussion about them. So, here's the question: Rebel Fluorocarbon Strings, redundant, or are they bringing something new to the market? I mean, obviously, every manufacturer should have their own strings to be able to offer replacements for what people already like on theirs and stuff. But in terms of, people have, whatever uke, is Rebel coming here with something different to the market? What do you guys think? And what's your opinion on them overall?
I don't feel that it's different enough because there's so many fluorocarbon string sets out there. I think they're nice. I like the sound of fluorocarbon.
Maybe you say an option to try.
Yeah.
Try them next to Uke Logic, KoAloha, Oasis, Pepe Romero.
This set in particular is really nice on the fingers. So if you want
The Excellas.
the Excella's
Light.
tension's a little lower. So
I thought there was a better balance on the shining in a way.
I always like. I mean, I like how the shining sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts overall, Kalei?
I would say try them both.
No, but in terms of like the market of fluorocarbon strings.
So the market of fluorocarbon strings. There's a lot of different fluorocarbon strings out there. A lot of these strings come from the same places.
Okay.
The only thing that separates a lot of
dropping
these.
some truth bombs over here.
I mean, it's true. Like a lot of things that like separates set to set. Sometimes it could just be a difference in a small
diameter
change in diameter for just one string.
It's interesting because like KoAloha was getting they started with strings from a manufacturer in Guatemala making their gold strings, and then Argentina. Sorry.
Guatemalan is the brand, right?
No.
The Guatemalan strings are.
That's a different one. That's why I got
Those are
mixed
good
up.
strings,
Though.
actually.
Yeah.
Those are good.
But it was actually Argentina, the original maker of the KoAloha golds. But then after that, they set up with Diodario to make their strings, and the Mahanas are the Pro Arts, which Diodario came out with their Pro Art ukulele set maybe like 5 years after KoAloha had already developed their set with Diodario being the manufacturer. But there's like 2 strings that had a different diameter.
Yeah.
But with that said, maybe you like the Diodario version better, or maybe you like the KoAloha version better. I mean, there's slight differences in that, but
yeah,
I feel like the
basically
Diodario
it's the
fluorocarbons,
same, substance of the string. It's just slightly different gauges.
different. And when I was saying that, it's like it wasn't to like say like some brands are better than others. It just means
or to say they're all the same, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they're not all the same, and because of that one difference in string diameter.
There's a difference with worth strings too. They have this certain kind of brightness.
Even within companies, there's like some have like higher density
Yeah.
strings than others too, and
Right, like Worth, they have the CH,
right.
HD.
Yeah, they have the
Right.
HDs.
I like those strings a lot. They're not as bright and clear as like the regular CT set or whatever, but
One of my favorite
really
is
nice.
the CFs.
Yeah,
Corey
those.
Fujimoto.
yeah, I used to use those, that and the brown.
But that's just working with diameter. Like the high density ones are a different thing, but sometimes it can cause intonation issues. It depends,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. For me,
Sometimes it's perfect.
I don't like playing with clear fluorocarbons all the time because sometimes I find them to be too bright. So after trying the HD strings from Worth, I think because they're just thicker, or if it's like a whole different kind of.
It's a different density to the HD ones, yeah.
Do you think the HDs are kind of like just clear versions of the browns in a way?
In a way, it sounds like, almost feels like it. But
I don't think so. I think the browns are coated with something different, or they have a braid of something different. And
yeah,
am I wrong?
Does have a coating. I remember talking to Kenichi from Bassist Records, our friend.
Yeah.
He comes and buys KoAlohas every once in a while. But he was saying, he's like, in the factory, which
I don't know. They
Cigar
kind of
owns
market
now.
them as just having like a different dye, but
But he said, he's like, there's actually like an outer coating and it's polished. So that's why it doesn't fray as much as clear, pure fluorocarbon.
and they don't. Yeah, they definitely don't.
So, yeah, the HDs are different because like with the regular CTs, there's like this shimmer kind of brightness that you get that I don't really care for personally. So when I change to like the CH, like the heavier ones, it doesn't have that. It gives you more of like a warmer and hardier kind
It
of
kind of
sound.
reminds me of what we heard with going from the aNueNue strings to the shining, like there was like a loss in that shimmer,
But then
it gives you a little bit more in that middle.
yeah.
What about were the low G's for the Shining and the Excella the same diameter?
Yes, actually, it's like because they sell the low G individually and it's the same low G, so the difference isn't the low G.
So the difference is the rest of the strings.
Yeah.
C, E, and A. Oh, no wonder. I can see, like, that's why you would like the Excella more than the Shining, because feel-wise, the low and the low G and the C string would feel closer to the E and the A, which would actually create a totally different experience.
Right.
And if you have the Shining, everything would be a much higher tension. So especially the E and the A, you can feel the difference.
This
so
is the
it's
Shining,
it's
right?
almost like the Shining could have like a slightly heavier gauge.
That's what
low
it feels like.
Yeah.
G, whereas the low G on the Excella matches.
It matches
gauge.
like the lighter tension set.
All right, Peng, do you watch our podcast?
I would put it like if I were to like choose, like I would take like the Shining set and then throw a soloist on the low G. That's what I would do.
I kind of avoid using a soloist now. I find it's like too boomy. Like when we were playing the Sunbeams on the Invictus,
Yeah.
it's like it matches better for that kind of strumming, and like you can still kind of go crazy with this low G. You can still kind of dig into it, and it still sounds fine. But like as far as like strumming, it's way better for strumming, I think.
Like the soloist or that?
This.
Oh.
Sometimes I feel the soloist is just too overpowering, overwhelming. Even though it's not, it blends well with the strings.
But if you're
it's just,
doing like a finger picking thing, it might be perfect, right? With
yeah,
that.
if we had done that piece with a soloist low G, I think I just spit a bubble out. It would have been a little bit too much, I think. Like whereas like I felt way more comfortable strumming on the this low G because I knew I could dig in way more without it being, that specific low G has kind of like that weird mid-range
I guess you could say.
thumpiness that comes here. I don't really care for.
If you guys, he's referencing our last podcast, and the song was the Sunbeams.
Yeah.
Probably about an hour into it or something.
What I like about the clear low G strings, usually there's better clarity.
The one thing I don't like about them is that they're just too.
The tension, yeah.
The tension is just way too light. I mean, it should feel at least somewhat close to the other strings.
So
Joel's, in my opinion.
Hard tension low G strings are nice. They're a little thick.
It's the closest to like having an equal tension.
Yeah.
At least he's trying. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
That one is awesome.
I like that low G string a lot.
But I appreciate what you're saying in terms of like dynamics and digging in, because even though feel wise is one thing, it's like sonic wise is a different thing.
It's a little bit more of a delicate string, but I feel like it blends more.
Hey, it's been a long time since we featured the Pono chamber body tenor electrics, and I have those, one with the stock string set, one with the KoAloha low G, and why don't you guys see if you can jam a tune on them together.
Something like that. Oh, that. Dude,
All right, so
sorry.
that's
practice that.
yeah. I mean, like, I look forward to hearing the finished version of that. That was something that
me
just
too.
kind of popped up where
Guitar and
Corey's
ukulele,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, you know, this reminds me of the Wolfpack song we started
Yeah.
with." Like,
Yeah, it's the same kind of feel, right? With the moving bass line and that really funky drum.
there's definitely
Whatever it's called.
definitely elements. So these are both Pono Mango TEs. The only difference being that the one Corey has a translucent red stain to it, and yeah, I mean, so the way that these are made, it's a all solid body that's chambered out, and then a solid top that's laid over it, and these have the Pono passive pickup system in them, which is a great pickup. It's like it doesn't give you anything more than just that raw acoustic, and whatever your preamp after that is going to be able to enhance it. You know?
It's one of the
But it
best passive.
doesn't have a sound to it really off the bat. You know, it's like it gives you a pretty flat signal to work with.
And it's like sometimes you can. I remember playing at a couple of gigs. I just plugged in. I was like, wait, that sounds perfect. I'm just gonna keep it as is without even like having to adjust anything. It's nice.
I've always liked working with that when I was doing live sound at Higher Ground Music Cafe. The
Abe
Pono
still uses it, right?
The Pono oh no, Abe uses LR bags. Oh, I'm sorry. Not he uses a yes. No. Actually, he uses the LR bags element.
Oh,
Interesting. He actually likes the element that was designed for the guitar with the 9-volt preamp.
I remember using those. They're super full sounding.
I think Jake too also prefers like the guitar version.
He likes the
Fishman.
Fishman
Yeah.
Matrix Natural 1.
Right, but it's like also the 9-volt
Yeah,
pre.
it's the 9-volt. I actually used the LR Bags element too for a long time.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's
well,
nice and
I don't
full.
know. Like to me, it's kind of thumpy. It's like a bit much. Like the
You
power
gotta
is
cut
almost
the
like
lows
yeah.
a
It's
lot.
like,
Eventually, it ends up getting too sensitive. You know, as the element kind of wears down,
oh,
I ended up starting like it almost like sounded like I had a microphone in my ukulele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the 5.0 just with a 9-volt. It has more juice and more power to the pickup, right? So you get more of like a noisier.
I think
Yeah,
something happens too, though, like where people get used to a thing. You know, it's like Jake was like touring with that pickup that was designed in that time, that like before they had like kind of altered it. Also, like with Abe, it's like because that's what he's used to. It's like when they came out with the 5.0, he was like, no, I kind of like this better. But I mean, like, part of me wonders, like, do you, or is that just what you're comfortable with? You know? It's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, I'll still, if it wasn't for the heavy battery, the 9-volt, I would still rock an Element. Those are, I like just the kind of volume output that.
Chris forgot something in here. Come in.
Oh, I was like, what the?
All right, see you tomorrow.
Drive safe.
All right, so 2 TE mangoes. It's been a while since we featured them because, you know, I got to bust out an amp and all that. But let's get individual sound samples. So the one Corey has the KoAloha Low G set, and the one Kalei has the stock KoAloha Alohi High G set. So Aho is a fluorocarbon set. Alohi is a monofilament nylon set. Corey's got the low G Aho set. Kalei has the high G Alohi set. I'm just saying words.
The right ones.
Yeah, all the right information.
There's a difference between the strings. I used to think, it won't pick it up so much because it's just a piezo, right? But yeah, there is a difference.
Yeah, it does affect it.
Okay, so. Sorry, some fart notes in there, but
Hey, cut your volume and play a little bit.
oh,
So that's with the volume all the way down. Yeah, so while you're hearing that, basically what's playing in the room is...
what's cool is like if you want to play late at night.
But it's still something, like, without plugging in, you hear it.
Yeah.
You could even like plug in your headphones to hear too if you had some.
Yeah, totally. But
headsets.
or into your amplifier, but yeah, so both these guys are without volume at the moment. But you can tell that it's enough to like play, practice, hear what you're doing.
Yeah, and not, be too loud at the same time.
Like, you wouldn't hear that with your eyes closed and automatically think it's a like solid body electric or whatever. I mean, you just hear ukulele, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like super natural sounding. I guess it has to do with like partially because it is somewhat of a passive pickup.
And a chambered body.
And a chambered body. So yeah, I mean that makes the biggest difference in my opinion, as far as the sound you're getting.
Okay, so Corey just played it with the fluorocarbon Aho low G set, and then we'll hear it with the... This is what comes with it, unless you want us to restring it. So this is the Alohi high G, and the only difference between these two is that the one that Kalei has wasn't stained, so this is the natural mango. One of my first fondest memories of Kalei was him playing a KoAloha CE at Higher Ground Music Cafe. And one of my favorite earliest recordings from like over a decade ago.
Wow. I think I remember watching the videos wearing that bright orange red shirt. I think.
I don't remember the shirt. I just remember the music being just, I remember at the time I was like, holy, this kid, so good.
I remember like going there and doing like some of the open mic sessions, and then it was such a cool vibe in Higher Ground.
Totally.
And I even had my first album release party over there.
Yeah.
I remember that, all the flatbread pizza.
Ooh. Oh, I found it.
Oh, the video I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's
Which
a couple
one?
of them, maybe.
There's they're all lined up.
This is the archive Hawaii Music Supply. What's the songs he played?
E flat. Is that how do you say it? E something tide.
Oh. Ebb Tide.
E flat tide.
Do you remember that song? See if you can recreate.
Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can even remember.
something like that. But
Congratulations, Corey.
thank you.
That's a beautiful uke. It's got a beautiful sound. Hopefully we get some similar ones for folks to also get. And,
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to do a limited run.
Yeah.
And
I might have to get myself one.
you might have to go down there and go tell them.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Come on, Uncle Casey, please.
All right, we're gonna close this out.
Kind of like a chill kind of hop. You know, that's
Bye.